Welcome to the video lecture on the second unit, hydrostatic forces on surfaces and buoyancy and flotation. So first we will see what does it mean hydrostatic force. We know that whenever the liquid is standing in a container, so it exerts some pressure force because of its weight on the sides and bottom of the container, right? And that pressure force can be estimated by this hydrostatic law, that is P is equal to WH. So here you can see the pressure is varying from surface to the bottom of the container linearly with respect to the depth. So here you can also observe that, so where the pressure is more, so there you can find a strongest jet. But here you can see at the surface level the pressure is low, right? The pressure is low, so we can find the weakest jet at this point. So why? Because the total pressure means the pressure head is converting to the velocity head here. So pressure is low, so ultimately the velocity head is also low. So that's why here we find the weakest jet at the top level. Okay, so hydrostatic forces. So whenever the liquid is contained in a liquid, right, it is in a static condition, whether it is in a reservoir, right, or it is in a tub, irrespective of the volume of the water, quantity of the water. So whenever it is in a standing condition, so the force exerted by it, right, we have to find out those forces. So that we will see in this chapter. Okay, next see the total pressure. So just now we are seeing the water will act some pressure on the surfaces wherever it is in contact with. So the total pressure force which acts on the surface of the body we call, right, that is the total pressure. Here you can see a body is immersed in a liquid vertically, and here the pressure distribution you can see here, right, it is maximum at the bottom of it and it is minimum at the top of this object. So it is varying linearly. Suppose if you remove this total pressure this distribution, and if you keep an equal amount of force, that is P, right? So if you see this pressure distribution, it is a 2D view, it is a 2D view, but if you see it in a 3D, it is like a having some volume, right? This pressure distribution diagram in 3D shape will be having some volume. So if you remove that, the total pressure distribution, and if you replace with its resultant force, right, that force P, we can call it as total pressure force, right? So and also this pressure force means the pressure which is applied by the liquid on the surface will always act at right angle to the surface. That is, it means it always acts at 90 degrees to the surface, whatever may be the position in which the object is immersed. For example, if the object is curved object, then here some liquid is standing. Here also the liquid pressure force will be at right angles to it. It acts at right angles. Right? Next, the center of pressure. Center of pressure means the point of application of the total pressure force. We can say it as the center of pressure. Here you can see here it represents with Cp. So where it acts, this is the cross section, if you see, but if you see in this direction, right, it is actually a two-dimensional object. So that's why here it is given plan, right? Here you can see it's plan. Suppose if you keep it in a horizontal plane, it looks like this. So Cp is there, that is the point of application of the total pressure. It always acts below Cg, that is the center of gravity of an object, or it is the centroidal axis for the planes. Okay, it always acts below the centroidal axis of the plane. So here the thickness is very low, very less, so it is, we can take it as a plane, right? So why it is like that? So here you can see the pressure distribution diagram is there. So the resultant of the pressure distribution diagram, so here it is having lower, means lesser value of pressure, but at greater depth the pressure is higher, right? So if you replace with the resultant force, then the resultant force is nearer to the base. Okay, obviously, because here it is having more pressure force, so it try to shift towards the higher pressure force. So that's why here the center of pressure is always below this center of gravity. Okay, that is the reason. All else, almost it will goes near to the Cg, right? Almost it goes near to the Cg. It depends upon the shape of the plane surface. Okay, so it never be above that Cg. Please keep in mind. Next, see different conditions we will see. So we are dealing with the hydrostatic forces, right? So means whenever the object is, means whenever the fluid is in contact with the object, how much pressure force it will act on it. So the object may be immersed horizontally, it may be vertical, or it may be inclined, it may be curved object, it may be of any other shape, right? It's possible. So now we will see here different conditions. So when the object is immersed horizontally, means its plane is its surface is coincided with the horizontal plane. Suppose if we take it, the coordinates, it is completely on the x, and if you take this z, so xz plane, this is a horizontal plane, right? If you take a Cartesian coordinate system, so this body is on xz plane, so it is horizontal one. So if this is the case, how much total pressure force will act on the surface? So here you can see the formula, P is equal to WA x bar, right? So here x bar is the distance of the centroid of the horizontally immersed object from the water surface level, right? And A is the the area, the surface area which is in contact with the liquid, and W is the specific weight of the liquid in which the object is immersed, right? So here you can observe one thing, this P, that is the total pressure force. So here these units are either newtons or kilonewtons, right? So WA x bar, if you see here, A into x bar, so A is the surface area of the plane surface. Next, x bar is the height, right? Now if you see, it tells us the volume of the water which is standing over this plane object. Okay, it gives us, to calculate the area into height is the volume, right? So here area into x bar is the volume of the water which is standing over the horizontal surface. So volume into the specific weight of the liquid, it gives us the weight of the water standing over it. So it tells us the horizontally immersed surfaces, the total pressure force is equal to the weight of the liquid which is standing over the surface, right? That's it. Next we will see another condition. So when the body is immersed inclinedly, so inclined with some angle with the surface. So if this is the case, then here we have to find out what is the total pressure force on the object and what is the point of application of the total pressure force. Okay, just now we have seen what does it mean by total pressure force and what is the center of pressure, right? So here also we have to find out these two. for inclined immersed surfaces. Here you can see the surface is with inclination theta with the horizontal axis, that is the liquid level. So this theta is means if you take a tangent from the surface, it coincides with the water level at some point, right? Suppose the point is O, so the angle of inclination between these two is the theta. And here you can see it is in plan. So if you see in this direction, it is having some shape, whatever may be the shape, right? So it is a plan how it looks. That's why here you can see the projection of it. I took the projections, right? Now see how the pressure distribution varies. So here this is the topmost point, this is the bottommost point of the inclined immersed body. So these two are at two different elevations. So that's why the pressure distribution will also vary. At greater depths the pressure is high, and at lower depth the pressure is low. Suppose here you can see, suppose if it is a H1, for example, if it is H1, then the pressure at this point is W into H1, and if the bottommost point is at a distance of H2 from the surface level, then what is the pressure at this point? P is equal to, so I will represent with a small p, okay? P is equal to WH2. That means this pressure is WH2. We know that as per Pascal's law, the pressure at a point is equal in all directions in a liquid. So as per that law, so at this point the pressure in every direction, whatever the direction you take, right, P is equal to W into H2, right? So here it is WH1, and if you connect it, you will get the pressure distribution diagram. Now how to determine this total pressure force and the center of pressure, right? So here you can see its pressure is varying continuously with the depth, right? So that's why here we cannot get directly, like the previous case, the weight multiplied with the volume of water which is standing above will not give us the total pressure force. So we have to follow some other procedure, right? So here how we'll do it is, so here we have to take a small strip, right? Here its projections are, and this strip is having width B. Here you can see the width of the strip is B, and its thickness is dx. Thickness of this strip is dx, and it is at a distance of small l from the liquid, perpendicular to this plane. If you take this point and if you take the perpendicular line, right, so from this line it is at a distance of L from this point to O. Okay, now what we do is we will find out the pressure force on the small element. Means if it is, because it is a small element, the pressure at that point will be P into H, so that is the component of L in vertical direction. Okay, so component of L in vertical direction, so we will get the pressure at this point. So once if we get the pressure on this elemental strip, we have to do the summation, that is integration procedure for the entire depth from this point to this point. We have to do the integration. So once if we do the integration, then we will get the total pressure force which is acting on the surface, right? So now we will see that procedure. So here different terminologies are there. CG, center of gravity, CP is the center of pressure, the position where it is acting, okay, and X bar is the vertical distance of CG from the liquid surface level, and H bar is the vertical distance of this center of pressure from the liquid level. Okay, H bar, X bar. P is the total pressure force which is acting. Theta is the angle of inclination of the object with respect to the liquid level, and B is the width of the elementary strip, dx is the thickness of the elementary strip. So this is the case. Now we will see this derivation. See, intensity of pressure force on the strip will be WL sine theta. So if it is L, then this vertical distance, right? So this is the projection, right? So the vertical distance will be L sine theta. Okay, so the intensity of pressure will be WH. So here H is L sine theta, so WL sine theta. So the pressure force is pressure into area. So B into dx is the area of the strip. So pressure into area, that is the pressure force. Now the total pressure force on the surface, means the entire surface, how can get? By integrating. P is equal to integration of WL sine theta. We have to integrate this equation, right? So that is the total pressure force. So here theta is constant, that means sine theta is constant, and specific weight of the liquid is constant. So I have taken out from the integration. L varies, B varies, right? So that I kept this within the integration. So here we can call this integration of LB dx as the moment of surface area about this OO. If you take this surface as the OO line, right, then this integration of LB dx, we can say it is the moment of surface area. Moment of force you know, right? Moment of force you know. Force into perpendicular distance will give us, right, the moment of force, but area into the perpendicular distance will give us the moment of area. So about OO, it will be the moment of area, we can say. So here the moment of area will be, we have to take this distance from the centroid, right? The distance from the centroid. So it will be x bar by sine theta. X bar by sine theta. So the moment area will be acting in this direction. We have to take like that. Okay, we have to take a parallel line. So area will act at this centroid. So if you remove the whole area and it is replaced with a point like a vector, area vector, you can say, then this area multiplied with this x by sine theta, that is the distance, will give us the moment of area about the OO. So we can write in two ways. LB dx is equal to ax bar by sine theta. So that's why here the integration of LB dx is replaced with ax bar by sine theta. So now we see this sine theta get cancelled, then total pressure P is equal to WAx bar. WAx bar. So here you can observe previously, in the previous case for horizontally immersed bodies, the total pressure is WAx bar. So here is also total pressure is equal to WAx bar. So it tells us we can write this equation like this: W into x bar multiplied with A, that is the total pressure acting on an inclined immersed body is multiplication of the pressure force at the centroid, that is x bar, Wx bar multiplied with the area, surface area of the plane. Even it is, the equation is same for vertically immersed bodies also. We will see in the next slide. Okay, so the total pressure force P is equal to WAx bar. So here I told you this given x bar, A and W, specific weight of the liquid, surface area, and then central axis distance from the surface is x bar. Next is the center of pressure. Total pressure, how much force we know, and we have to know where it is acting, point of application, where it is acting with respect to the water, means the liquid surface, from the liquid surface. So already we have find out this pressure force on the strip is WL sine theta B dx, right? We have seen it how it comes. And then if you take the moment about this OO again, for the small force, right? Then we have to write this L, WL sine theta B dx, that is the force multiplied with the L. Here the force is acting, force into distance, that is the moment about OO, force into the perpendicular distance L. So here L is there. So now that moment about the force will be, about the OO will be W L square sin theta B dx. So the sum of all moments about OO is equal to integration of W L square sin theta B dx, because we have to integrate it. Here whatever the moment that we have calculated, it's for small strip. So if we integrate it, we will get the moment of the all forces, elementary forces, right, with respect to OO. That is the total moment of force about OO. Now in this equation, here this integration of L B dx, here again W is constant, sin theta is constant. This integration of L square B dx is called the moment of inertia. This is called second moment of area. This is also called, this term is also called second moment of area, right, second moment of area about the OO axis, and it is also moment of inertia of surface area about OO, IOO, it is represented with, so W sin theta IOO. So and it also can be written as sum of all moments about OO is equal to the moment of total force with respect to OO. We know the moment of, what is the moment of force is P, total force is P. So P multiply with this distance, perpendicular distance, this is h bar by sin theta. So P into h bar by sin theta will give us sum of all moments about OO. You can write like this. Right, now we have to equate these two, right, we have to equate these two equations to get h bar value. So W sin theta IOO is equal to ph bar by sin theta. So here P is replaced with WA x bar. We have seen it how it came. Then h bar is equal to IOO sin square theta by AX bar. This h bar is the center of pressure. So it is equation 1 I represented with. So what is IOO? IOO is the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis plus AH square. You might be knowing it, right? The moment of inertia concept, if you remember, suppose if it is a centroidal axis, and if you want the moment about some axis OO, right? So the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis is IgG. Then the distance between IgG and OO is h. Then we can say this area is A, area of the plane. Then IOO is IgG plus area of the surface multiplied with h square. So this is IOO. So here we have to substitute this IOO, that is IgG plus h square, AH square, in the equation 1, and if you simplify it, we will get this equation, that is the center of pressure is equal to x bar plus IgG sin square theta by AX bar. So here IgG is moment of inertia about the centroidal axis, right? So here from this equation you can easily say that center of pressure is greater than x bar. So it is x bar plus some value. Okay, so h bar is greater than this center of pressure. Suppose if theta is 0, then this term will become 0. So h bar is x bar only, like horizontally immersed object, right? So for horizontally immersed object, h bar is equal to x bar. And so these two equations which I kept in box are the important things that they have to remember. Okay, these two. Next, see, when the object is immersed vertically immersed surface in a liquid. So this is a liquid surface. So here the object is immersed vertically. Okay, that means here theta is 90. Theta is 90. Just now we have seen how theta can be found out. We have to take the tangent with the plane surface and it will coincide. And if you take the angle measure the angle from the liquid surface to the tangent, then it will be the theta, right? So in this case the total pressure force is WAX bar only, it won't change. So for any case P is equal to WAX bar, horizontal immersed, inclined immersed and vertical immersed object. And H bar here we know for inclined immersed body sin square theta by AX bar, right? So here if you put theta is 90, the derivation is same. If you put theta is 90, then this equation will turn into H bar is equal to X bar plus IgG by AX bar. Okay, this is the center of pressure equation for vertically immersed object, that is plane surface. Okay, so once if you know these equations, you can easily find out the total pressure and the center of pressure of on any liquid surface. Next, so when the object is immersed, if it is covered one and it is immersed in liquid surface, then what is the total pressure force and its angle of inclination, right? Here you can see that a covered surface is immersed, right? A covered surface is there under a liquid and its area is something we don't know, the planet, maybe anything, it may be in any shape, we don't know, right? So in this case for covered immersed objects, so the total force, here you can see we can take the projections. So here this is the total horizontal force which is acting on this covered surface. Means total horizontal force means summation of all small horizontal forces which is acting over this covered surface. And if you take the summation of all vertical forces it is acting on this covered surface, this is the total vertical force, that is FV, right? So these are the components, FH and FV are the components of the horizontal and the vertical force which is on the curved surface. So the resultant of these two components will give us the total or the force which is acting, resultant force which is acting over the curved surface. So here this is the equation, right? Now the next question is, so where it is acting, means its inclination, what it is inclination with the horizontal or with the vertical. So here inclination with the horizontal is found out, theta. So theta is tan inverse of vertical component of force divided by the horizontal component of force, right? So if you take and if you keep this FV here, right, triangle of forces, then theta is equal to opposite by tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent side, so it is FV and it is FH. So from here tan theta is FE by FH, so theta is equal to tan inverse of FE by FH. So very simple for curved immersed surface. But the question is how to find out this horizontal force, that is the horizontal total force and vertical force on curved surfaces. That is the question. So here you see that, just take a free body diagram for this curved surface. Now take tangent from this point, that is vertical one, not a tangent, just draw from this point a vertical line and from this a vertical line, right, and take this, separate this portion from the liquid. So this is at 1, right? So it looks like this. Now we see this pressure, the weight, this is the weight of the liquid component in CBED, okay, CBED as BCDE, okay, BCDE, and here is some weight of water is there, okay. Suppose if you see the pressure force, here it is acting, some horizontal component will come and here also some horizontal component force will come. It is due to which law? Hydrostatic law, Pascal's law. So if you apply these two, then the force on these two vertical sides will be equal, and these two get cancelled out. Get rid of it. But come down here, right? What we need to find out, we want the pressure force, that is the total pressure force on this curved surface. That is, for example, if it is horizontal one, if you want to determine, so it will be the opposite. Curved surface, it will give some reaction force. That's why here it is given, that is FH. This is the reaction force, we have to say. This is the pressure force, this is the reaction force. That means if you determine the pressure force, then it will be equal to the reaction force here, right? So how to determine this pressure, horizontal pressure force? Now you see, take the projection of this curved surface on vertical plane. This is its projection. This is its projection on vertical surface. Means if you put a light, okay, if you take a light and if you throw it on it, then there will be a shadow. There will be a shadow behind this curved object, right? So exactly it looks like this, the shape of the object, okay, and behind of it, right? But it is having height some h, okay, it's having some height h on vertical plane. So that is the projection of this curved surface on vertical plane. Now determine the pressure force on this vertical plane, right? That pressure force will give us the horizontal force which is acting on the curved surface. Already we know that when the object is immersed vertically, in a liquid, right, then the pressure force P is equal to WAX bar. Now here you just determine the position of the centroidal axis of the projected surface, okay, please keep that in mind. Determine the position of the center of gravity will be above the center of pressure, okay. So determine X bar. So once if you determine this X bar, determine the projected area, okay, projected area on vertical plane. Suppose if it is h and its width is, for example, some x is there, width of this curved surface is some x, then x into h will give us the projected area, okay, whatever it may be the shape, it will be rectangular one, the projection, right? So x into h will give us the projected area A, and specific weight of the liquid which is standing here, WAX bar, will give us the total pressure force on the projected vertical plane, that is equal to horizontal component of the force. Okay, very simple, we already know it. Next, vertical component. What is the vertical component of the force on the curved surface? So the vertical component of force is equal to the weight of the liquid which is standing above the curved surface. It is a vertical component. So if we know this volume, so here you can see this is a rectangular portion. So here it is mentioned with W, weight of the liquid in rectangular portion, BCD, and weight of the liquid which is there in curved portion, ABC, right, W2. So W1 plus W2 is equal to the vertical component of force. Here weight of air is negligible, cannot able to, even if you consider it, no problem. So weight of the air is negligible. Suppose if any pressure is there, we have to take the pressure also, external pressure, right? But if it is air, then we need to take atmospheric air, then we need to take this pressure, okay. So the W1 plus W2 will give us the vertical component of this force. Very simple. So once if you know this FH, that is equal to WAX bar, and vertical, the projected plane on vertical plane, right? By knowing FV, you can easily determine this total pressure force, that is a resultant force, right? So once if you know this FH and FV, and then this theta also can be calculated, right? Similarly, if the water, means the liquid, is standing behind this curved surface, for example, I will write here right. So the liquid is standing behind this then this is the curved portion. Here it will act some pressure force F, so it is having some vertical component of force Fv, and it is having some horizontal component, that is Fh, right? So Fh is again WAX bar on vertical surface, right? WAX bar, and Fv is equal to weight of the liquid which is standing in this empty space. For example, if there is liquid which is standing in this volume empty place, then how much weight it will be there? So that weight is equal to vertical component of the force. Okay, so like that we have to find out this vertical component, and see here the projection is from the water level, here this vertical projection is from this curved surface. Then this area will form, area into the width of this gate will give us the volume multiplied with the specific weight of liquid which is standing behind will give us the Fv value. So this is about the curved immersed surface and how to calculate the forces, horizontal component and vertical component, and also the angle of inclination of this force with respect to horizontal. Here theta is with respect to horizontal, okay? With respect to vertical it will be 90 minus theta, it will be 90 minus theta.